Good morning. Good morning, Africans. I am in this beautiful place called, well, I don't know what it's called, but it's in the middle of the Mohale Mountains in Magaliesberg, somewhere in the northwest, so between the northwest and Gauteng. My grandparents and my great-grandparents were essentially born here, so it always feels like home just being here, but the place is beautiful. You should see it, the mountains and all of that. So I'm here really to facilitate a conversation with some of the leaders that I'm working with. So I thought while I'm waiting for them to finish their breakfast and stuff, I should touch on this matter, the issue that has been preoccupying me for a bit this week. And it's about leadership courage. Essentially, whenever we talk about leadership, I find that we spend a lot of time talking about the theory and the practice and all of those things. But one of the things I've really picked up a lot in terms of leadership is that leadership is really about courage. Why? In fact, what led me to this is a thought that crossed my mind that said that leadership, if you're a leader and you find yourself having to make very easy decisions most of the time, you're probably not leading, you're following someone else. Why am I saying that? Because by its nature, leadership is about breaking things. It's about moving forward. It's about changing. It's about transforming all the time. You cannot transform if you are staying the same. You cannot transform if you are doing the same thing all the time. You're probably just following someone else. So the root of leadership, if we take it maybe from a Latin word, leader, leader is really to break, to damage, to pull apart. And so when somebody is a leader, the work is essentially about them breaking and pulling some things apart. But you can also look at it, given that I'm in the Botswana space here, I can take it also from the Setswana roots that effectively talk about moeteledi pele. So moeteledi pele, essentially if you break that down and you deconstruct that conversation around leadership, what it essentially means is you go ahead first. Moeteledi pele is the one who visits first. So you can imagine a scenario where a tribe or a group has been going to visit another part of the of another nation, or trying to get into another part of the world. What would they be doing? They would send someone to go and visit first. And in visiting first, they become moeteledi pele. Because this guy goes and visits first. So that's essentially what it is, which then means that most of the time when you are leading, there are 5 things that are essentially in your space around the work that needs to be done. And this has come a lot from my research in terms of legendary leaders that I've been working with quite a bit. The first thing that essentially comes across in terms of leadership is around consistency. Consistency essentially is about integrity is actually the word I'm looking for. And integrity here, I'm not talking about the stuff around morality and all of those things. All of those are individual stuff. But in general, it's about your actions and your words. There's consistency in terms of your actions and your words, because that creates trust. 2, the second element around leadership is about authenticity. Who are you as a leader? Who are you in terms of your skills, your strengths, your weaknesses, your flaws? Many great leaders know what they're not good at. They know what they're good at, which means as they become baeteledi pele, or people who go up ahead, they know what they have to offer versus what they could fall prey for, so to speak. The third element is about vision. And not vision in terms of the way we keep talking about it, having vision statements on the walls and all of that. It's really around talking about vision in terms of the picture of the future. Where are we going? How clear, how precise that picture of the future is. So every time I think about vision, it's always about a visual, it's always about a picture. That's kind of like some of the work I'm going to do today as well, to help some of these guys create a clear, precise vision for their organization, such that every time something goes wrong, that's the place you go back to figure, okay, where did I go wrong, and why am I doing this, and why am I putting myself through this? Because it's painful. Leadership is painful. It's not easy. So clarity around where you're going and why you started in the first place is critical. The fourth element is then around courage, which I've spoken about. Courage is not about being stupid. It's not about making stupid decisions that could put you in danger. But courage is about deciding to act even when there is a challenge, even when you know that there's a risk to you, you act. So leadership is essentially around being brave. Nelson Mandela put it very nicely, and I like that quote that says, courage is not about not feeling fear. Courage is about feeling the fear and deciding to go anyway. I love that. I think a lot of what defines legendary leaders is about making decisions and doing and saying yes to things they're supposed to say yes to, and saying no to things they're supposed to say no to. And finally, action. It doesn't really matter if you have all the other four stuff, all the other four things, or all the other four ingredients, but you are not acting, you are sitting on a couch. So what I found in terms of legendary leaders is that many of them, they are not directors. They do not work from a position. They don't direct, they don't point fingers, they don't say, go and do this. They say, I will do this. What will you do? I will do. So they take action first. So when you think about it, so this has gone for a bit too long, but when you think about that from a leadership perspective, you start realizing that leadership is about risk. Leadership is really about action. Leadership is about clarity of vision, and then knowing yourself. The first three elements create trust. The other two elements create consistency and direction, and you need both. So I'm hoping that as you're listening to this, you're also questioning yourself in terms of where do you sit as far as leadership is concerned. As you can see, people are going in and out, so I think people are ready for me now. I hope you get a really great day, and if you have questions, if you have conversations, if you have thoughts, experiences, comments, you know where to find me. Mongezi Sima Kalima. I'm all over social media. Just find me, and then let's talk. That's 8 minutes. Have a great day.